Get your official Toshi merch, join my private network, and check out my courses linked in the description and bio. All right, y'all, so we're back with another bullish Toshi video, and this one I'll be explaining and breaking down why I actually haven't sold any of my Toshi. I did start off trading Toshi, getting in and out, jumping in and out when I first got onto Base and I was first learning the ecosystem and things like that. But really, since diving in, starting to understand Toshi, starting to believe in it and all of this stuff, I made the decision that I wasn't going to sell. I was just going to keep holding because I understood the vision and where things was going. And I think a lot of the reasons that I made the decisions that I have is very much credited to my past, which I know a lot of people don't know. But I have made mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes in investing, and this is why I make my content. I just don't want anyone to make the same mistakes as me. Like, I don't care about all the haters coming, calling me liars and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, the time is going to tell. Like, time is really going to show. Like, and I'm patient. I can wait for it. You don't have to see me every single day trying to convince people of anything. It is what it is. I will keep holding and I will show the results with time. Like, that's all that matters. Like, the thing is, if you really have conviction and believe in what you're saying, let time speak for you. You don't have to sit here and do the most. But when it comes down to my approach, I did want to share my mistakes that I made with people so other people wouldn't have to take some of the same losses that I had to take in the past and learn some of the tough things that I had to learn and miss out on opportunities. Because if you knew my track record, like, this is when I first realized how good I am. It was a couple of years ago where I realized how good I am at spotting potential, but just how bad I was at actually doing what I needed to do to profit from it. I was early on Netflix. I was early on Dogecoin. And then when I finally got it right, I was early on a project called Vivi. That was the first project that I got it right, and then I held. But even that success for me couldn't really be credited to me. So my history has been crazy. So starting off, when I looked into Netflix, I dove into the stock market. I was diving into Warren Buffett and stuff like that. I didn't even know what DCA was or any of that. I bought Netflix because I believed in it. I bought the Netflix stock when it first came, when it was early, when it was cheap. And then when I saw it first start dipping down, whatever amount of money I put in, and it wasn't anything significant, it was maybe a couple $100 or something. When I saw it start dipping down, I had to take the money out. I'm like, nah, I can't do this. This is crazy. And I thought that was volatile. Meanwhile, I'm in a crypto. Fast forward to the day, I'm in crypto where your net worth will go down 80%. Like, that's insane. But I thought the stock market was crazy. I'm down $20. Like that was insane to me at that time. But needless to say, I pulled out of Netflix because, yeah, I'm like, it wasn't moving how I thought it was going to move, which I don't know what I was thinking. It's like, literally, the whole world had to change and start moving towards streaming. Like, I saw the vision, but I didn't realize, I wasn't calm. Like, all I saw was my money going down. I wasn't factoring in how long would it realistically take for the world to adopt this and the world to start changing. I didn't realize it was going to take years. I didn't realize I was supposed to invest and hold dollar cost average and things like that. So I got in, saw it go down, and then it was just over with from there. Then I saw Dogecoin. I believed in Dogecoin. Like before Elon shouted it out or anything, I saw Dogecoin and I was like, I forgot what my logic was. I saw a lot of stupid memes and stupid jokes, and I saw the world was in a place where it wasn't taking anything seriously. I'm like, you know what? This will probably do well just because people ain't taking nothing serious these days. And that was purely my logic for it. It's like, and I know that a lot of people don't respect the way I get to my conclusions, yet a lot of people get to the same conclusions with their technical analysis and all this stuff that they do respect. We get into the same place, and this is why I'm not judgmental. I don't really care how someone gets there. We all do work in different ways. Like, I was the kid in class when I used to do my math. I couldn't really write out the process. I just saw stuff and I would have the right answer. I wasn't using a calculator, cheating or nothing. It's like I could see the answer, but it was harder for me to explain how I got to it because I'm weird. I see things in a weird way. So I've always been that person. And then obviously there's the students who do it very perfect where they can tell you exactly every single step of the way what they did. It's like they'll look down on you. And that's always has been. That's why I got to a point where it was like, F people, I'm doing what I want to do. But yeah, Anyway, like that was my logic for jumping into Dogecoin. I jumped into Doge and I was early, but then it's the volatility once again, and this was years later. This was years after Netflix. I jumped into Doge. Soon as I jumped out, Elon starts tweeting, Doge starts exploding, and all this other stuff, man. And it was crazy. It went crazy. Dogecoin really popped off. So around that time, like I don't remember the exact timelines. I really don't. Soon after, I discovered NFTs. I was seeing Gary Vee talk about NFTs, the value of NFTs, and all this stuff. And I never understood what NFTs was until this one company came out that had a bunch of IP. I saw Batman, I saw Powerpuff Girls. What else was on there? I saw some of the biggest IP in human history. I saw Jurassic Park. And then I started digging, I started doing research. I saw that they had ties and affiliations to Pokemon. I saw that they had ties and affiliations to Disney, and I was one of the first. If you look on this channel, you can actually see that content. I was predicting that they would have Marvel. I was predicting that Spider-Man would come. I was predicting that this and that would come and all this. And that's how this channel kind of started, because I ended up being right about all that stuff coming. I was early, and then I was right about a lot of the stuff that I saw coming in the future. And that was the first time ever that I had got it right and I had actually held and benefited from it. I put in like 3K at all-time high. It turned to 200 and I exited with maybe 50 or something, 50 or so. So that being said, very profitable for me. That was great for me. Now the thing is, even that though, that was last bull run. That was like what, 2021, 2022. That was leading into 2022. I think it exploded at like 2022, and that's when I really took my profits and stuff, like 2022. And yeah, so that, even I couldn't fully even credit myself for that though. I couldn't credit myself for that, mainly because I was so early onto that platform, they didn't even have a cash out option. So I had put the money in there. I bought the things that I believed was valuable, but I didn't have the freedom to take the money out when I wanted to anyway. And luckily it wasn't a scam. It didn't turn out to be a scam. It didn't turn out to be that bad of a scam or nothing like that. But you know, it had gone up in value some crazy numbers, but like when it was at 200K, when it was at 200K in value, there was no cash out option. And because the currency was gems instead of actual US dollars, I wasn't associating the value with real money. It was just gems. It was real money, but I wasn't associating it that way because of gems. And that's how they get you. That's how they get you, where they use credits or they use some other term where you're not associating it with the fact that you're looking at $200,000 in your face right now. So yeah, I ended up holding, and the reason that I was able to hold so long, not worry about it, because I was planning on just putting that money in there and leaving it anyway, and then I couldn't cash it out even if I wanted to. Then fast forward, cash out came and all that stuff. It got to a point where I had to take my profits because I wanted to start another business, and I was jumping into a relationship and all type of things. So yeah, we took profits. I took out of that investment because also they started lying. Like a lot of the foundation that made me invest, a lot of the stuff that I saw in that company, they started lying. They didn't keep delivering. It just all turned out to be them blowing smoke forever. A lot of people who left that company, they would tell me things like, oh, no, they really didn't know what was going on. They're just trying to string people along while they figure stuff out. And everyone leaving that company was coming out with the same story. So I trust the people that I was hearing these things from. So that being said, I had to leave that project. Then this is closer to now, like early last year, I dove into Solana. I dove into the Solana blockchain. So I was right on that. I was right on that call. They just started completely lying. Like their whole tokenomics, the tokenomics that made me invest in that last company, they completely changed the entire tokenomics. So they had NFTs and they had a crypto. I was invested in both. I was a bigger fan of the crypto, but everything about the crypto, they completely lied about. And then they want to blame regulation. So yeah, that's what it was with that. But yeah, so after that company, earlier last year, that's when I really dove into Solana. I dove into Solana. I got into memes and trading and stuff like that, I really just had to pay my tuition there. I lost like what 20k, maybe more, probably a lot more, probably more, like 20 30k. It was between 20 30k. I lost that early last year, learning how to trade, learning the space, learning to really start understanding stuff and understanding what's happening and what's going on. And that's when I really started to notice patterns. I noticed the manipulation. I noticed that everything was controlled. You had some things that was controlled by legitimate teams and other things that was controlled by just people scamming. It's just a constant same scam over and over. Like even copy trading. I would notice copy traders, you can copy a certain wallet, and then part of their strategy would be to jump into something just because they know they're being copy traded, and then they'll dump on everybody who just jumps in right after them. So they literally made all their money abusing the fact that people were copy trading them. So I started to notice and see all the scams. Got caught in the honey pot one time. It's like I started learning all this stuff and seeing how the game works. And this is when I started learning to identify certain patterns and stuff on charts. Like I dove into technical analysis for a little bit. Like I dove in for a while. I seen some decent results with technical analysis, but because my mentor teaches me, he taught me how to look at things different. He taught me how to look at it from a market maker's perspective. Like there's a lot of people who will trade they'll trade certain things. My mentor learned from a billionaire who taught him the game, like who really taught him how to control shit. Like really, it's a different way of thinking. And I told you, I've always been weird. So it's a viewpoint and perspective that I could actually understand and that I could see because it's more in line with how I think, because it's completely against, like it's in the mindset that most people in my life, I see that they're always wrong about everything. It's like, I'm always against a lot of things. So it's like, I'm opposite of the majority of people anyway. So this was something that I could really get behind and really could understand and really see. Oh, so that's how you make your money. This is how you do it. So yeah, it was easy to learn a little bit of charting. I never really locked in and just perfected. I never perfected what he taught me, but I learned enough to be able to maneuver in this space and make some money. And that's really what I needed. I do want to get back to trading and really going hard at it eventually, but that leads us into where we are now. Why I've really never sold any of my Toshi. I have a history and track record, regardless of what people would say about me, regardless of because I've called out certain opportunities. I've said, yo, this is a big opportunity. And if people heard me say it, got right in instantly, no hesitation, they would have made a lot of money. But the thing is, they hear me talk about it for like 3 weeks, and then they're like, okay, let me try. And then it's after it has pumped up, after it's proven that I was right about it. So then they jump in at the last minute. And then that's when it dumps as soon as they jump in. So obviously those people start to hate you because they didn't have the courage to actually move on the opportunity when they first saw it. They waited 3 weeks as if opportunity is just going to wait for them. And that's not how this world works. When the opportunity is there, you don't know how long it's going to last. And I'm the type that takes action instantly. I see an opportunity and I'm jumping straight in, like no hesitation. I'm that type of person. So a bunch of people follow me and they try to do the things that I do, but they're the type of person who hesitate. We don't mix. You're not going to see success trying to move how I move because we are just completely different fundamentally. I won't hesitate. I'll cut. As soon as I see something going down to a point where I don't like, I'll cut. I won't think twice. I don't care what was lost. I'm not losing it all because if I got half of what I started with, I can flip that half and bring it back. You might not be able to do that. You might not have the same confidence and the same experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I'm viewed by some people in maybe not so much of a favorable light, and they'll say, "Oh, this guy is always wrong," because they always get in on the ass end of things that I've talked about. But in real life, from my side of things, where I always am moving based on my own research and my own, I have a history of always being right. When I have true conviction towards something, I have always been right thus far. Now, you got to be wrong at some point. I keep hearing, but I feel like usually when you're wrong, it's out of greed. It's out of I don't think that there's many scenarios where you can actually do the research and understand and comprehend the research and have no emotion involved, because that's the thing. I don't have this same emotional ties to losing money and stuff like that regular people just have. It's like, I don't get scared. I don't get nervous. It's like, I won't be happy if I get wrecked, but I could watch my shit go to zero and not care. And it's like I said, I'm weird, bro. It's like I'm weird. It's not that I'm happy about it. It's just that I'm not a bitch. I knew the risk. Like that's what it is. I accept it as a man. I accept, damn, it was something I didn't know. It was something I needed to learn. I need to improve. I need to get better. Damn, I got to work even harder to make all that back now. It's like, that's just how I handle things. It's like, nah, it's not a happy situation. It's not a great situation at all. It's just like damn, I'm fucked up. Like, and that's just really how I see it. So, and while some people, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Let me blame this person. Let me blame that person. For me, it's like, it was always what can I do better? What can I do differently? Where did I go wrong? Like that, and this was mainly with trading. When I say I'm focused on stuff like investing, when it comes down to investing, which is what Toshi is for me, I just hold that. It's just like, it's a holding thing, because after my success with Vivi and I just held, I realized if I had just all the money that I had wasted, maybe trying to gamble or dabble in this, dabble in that, if I would have just kept putting it in, kept putting more and more in, and just held, believed, and trusted in myself, trusted in my vision, trusted in my research, because the thing is, nobody ever does more research than me. And this is why I just end up making content, doing the research, looking at things, talking about the big picture, because nobody sits around all day and dives into it like I do. This is what I do for myself. So this is why I make content on it, because I can get a little bit of ad revenue off my content. Maybe people sign up on my courses and stuff like that and learn the basics and fundamentals and a lot of the stuff that I've learned throughout my time here. Like, maybe I can get some benefit and get some value there. And this is all stuff I'm gonna be doing anyway. There's no losing, really. Like, I was gonna be doing this anyway, but I'm putting myself in a position where I could potentially profit from it. And then as I keep improving, and there's a great chance that I'm going to be right, because I'm not just pulling stuff out of thin air because I need something to be successful. I don't jump into something. Like, see, people invest backwards. They jump in and then they got to find a reason why it's going to be successful. For me, I'm not jumping in until I know for 100%, or until I feel with 100% certainty that it's going to be successful. Like, that's what makes me jump into that extent in the first place. A lot of people get in too deep and then they got to try to rationalize why it's a great investment and why it's going to be successful. Me, you're not getting my money until I know for a fact that it's something different and something special about you. And that's how I come with it. So throughout my experiences, I learned that one thing that I learned about myself is that I can trust when I see that there's value somewhere. I trust myself by being able to identify value. So if I just learn to not sell, not panic, not get worried, and it's crazy. Like, after missing out on Netflix, after missing out on Dogecoin, I don't know, it's like a switch flipped. And it's just like, at this point, I learned that I'm gonna risk it all. At the end of the day, playing it safe, I saw it when I started when I did that and tried to play it safe, I still was broke though. Those years where I took my money out and I missed Netflix and I missed Dogecoin, I was broke. So what the hell was I so worried about losing that money for anyway when I didn't have no money in the first place? And ironically, ever since, I haven't really been scared to go to zero or anything like that. I've had more money than I've ever had in my life. Like, and like I said, it's just a lot of stuff that I had to learn about myself, a lot of stuff that I had to realize. I had to trust my ability to do research. I had to trust the things that I see. And that's why I've taken the approach that I've taken towards how I invest. And this is why I also preach what I preach, because I want you all to learn what you're good at. I want you all to be able to identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses. And it's fine to have weaknesses. It's fine to be better at other things and worse at other things. Like, I don't want to make a bunch of mini me's. I want people to really see what type of person you are. Because for some of you might be able to identify more with charts. You may be able to really trust in a chart more. For me personally, I use fundamentals. Like, a lot of people can't wrap their head around why I go based on fundamentals, but it's something that I can completely understand. It's something that I feel like I have control over. I can see big picture. I can see, oh, these guys, they want to mass adopt crypto, but they want to get all their people in position because they're not loaded up enough. So they have to find a way to tank the market in order to put money. Like, I can see all this. I can identify the big picture. I can take emotion out of it. I can, oh, COVID, they use that as a way to dump the market. Oh, tariffs, they're using that to dump the market. Oh, hack, they're using that to dump the market. I can just identify a bunch of patterns, and it's all just easy for me to read and easy for me to see. So the only difficult thing is, okay, I see these patterns. Where's the position that I need to get in while the market has dumped? They're creating this opening. They're creating this opportunity. It's not for me, but I can take advantage of it. So that's really the only thing I have to figure out is where do I position to benefit from the chaos that they're causing right now. And that's where that's where I focus on a lot of research, a lot of learning, a lot of trying to understand what I believe and things like that, where I see the future at, because I only invest in things that I understand and that I see the future in. So I don't I know a lot of people be digging the hats and stuff, bro. I don't watch sports, bro. I don't. I don't know how I know nothing about sports. Like for me, ironically, a guy who wear black tee every single day, like I got the hats and stuff for fashion. It's like I'm a minimal fashion guy. Like that's all it was. But yeah, man, it's like I don't know. I just identify patterns, and I trust in my ability to do research. I trust in my ability to identify patterns, do the research, and understand the bigger picture, and then figure out where I need to be positioned. That's it. I don't even know why. I can't remember where I was going with that, why I even brought the fashion into it. But yeah, at the end of the day, the reason that I hold Toshi still is because I see something special here. I see all the things aligning, things in my mind. It just starts to connect. Dots start to connect. Now, maybe I end up wrong. Who knows? Like I don't believe that I'm perfect, even though my mind identifies things in a certain way. But at the point where I see, like I always say the line and how everything is connected in my mind. I see Trump getting in, crypto being mass adopted at a larger scale than it has ever happened in human history. And for that reason, I think that technical analysis is currently flawed. The reason that technical analysis is going to be flawed is because technical analysis is based off of history and old patterns that's happened time and time again. Now, while things may look similar, there has never been any point throughout Bitcoin's lifespan where mass adoption has happened, which means as it is literally happening right now, things are going to be different. It is going to be different this time. And for me, a lot of people can't wrap their head around things because they're like, oh, every time they say it's going to be different. But no, this time it's actually something different. It's something that has never happened in human history, and it can never happen again. Mass adoption of crypto for the first time ever in human history can only happen one time. It's never happened before now, and it can never happen again after now. And this is the year where this is going on. Everything changes. But how is it going to change? So I'm thankful for my history, but this is why I try to put people on game, and this is why I try to share some of the stuff that I've gone through and some of the stuff that I see, because a lot of my past and a lot of my history and a lot of my mistakes can help a lot of people not make those same mistakes, and they can start you off ahead of the curve, starting to recognize some of this stuff that maybe people would struggle to see, you know? So, yeah, it's like, at this point, we have this opportunity to take advantage of something that's never happened before, and it's just a matter of finding out what an opportunity is. Like, oh, that's why I was going with that. When I was talking about the sports thing, I was talking about the fact that I don't invest in sports. I don't know nothing about sports. Like, I invest in only the things that I understand, only the things that I understand the magnitude of how big it is for humanity. So, for instance, when it comes down to meme coins, it's a stressful world. Meme coin, a lot of people cannot understand the benefits and value of crypto. And this is what people don't get. Like, these crypto people try to be like a lot of people fall for all this technical analysis, and 99% of the technical analysis content is always wrong. A lot of people fall for it because people like to speak as though they understand things that someone else doesn't understand. That's their whole business model and how they sell everything. Me personally, I see through the bullshit. I told you, I recognize patterns. I know when somebody's just BSing. Someone, like, their technical analysis, the best part about making that type of content is you can't run out of content because it's just all probability. So even if you're wrong, all you got to do is say, oh, this is what's going to happen if it goes up. This is what's going to happen if it goes down. and you say, oh, I think it's going to go one direction, then you can easily say in another video, well, it went the opposite direction, but we also said that in the video that was possible. So you can't be wrong. And that's what all that content is. I think that most of that content is just not valuable. But when it comes down to the content that I make, the reason that I see more value in that is because this is real facts. This is really, the US is really becoming a crypto capital. Trump is really meeting with Brian Armstrong. Coinbase is literally the #1 exchange in the USA. Base is literally owned by Coinbase. And the #1 project on Base is Toshi. Like the #1 community driven, fully all community is Toshi. So this is it's all facts that cannot really be disputed, you know? So yeah, this is my mindset. This is my take on things. This is how I see things. And that's why I like to give people my perspective in the way that I see things, because a lot of people you're not going to get a lot of honesty in this space. You're going to end up falling for a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of the same patterns. And yeah, I try to help some people. If I can even help a few people, get ahead, then I've done my job. But that's pretty much it, man. Let me know what you all think and how you all feel in the comments down below. This is why I haven't sold a single Toshi. I believe in it, and I believe that it's going somewhere. And I see all the dots connected and everything aligning perfectly. Based on my history, that's what's giving me the balls to hold on and not be scared. I've lost more being scared than I ever would have if I just believed in myself, believed in my research every single time before. So I'm confident that I do good research. I'm confident in my research, and yeah. So I can see a bunch of people saying, oh, this isn't the case, that isn't the case. And then when I see those people who come and say, oh, Toshi's dead and stuff like that, the first thing that I see is, Toshi is dead, how is it still drawing your attention? People aren't going to find Blockbuster fan pages and say that Blockbuster is dead. Why? Because it's really dead. But when people are going out of their way to convince other people that something is dead, that means it's so relevant that there's people there for them to try to convince. That literally goes against, like, anything negative being said about Toshi, you're going out of your way to find Toshi people to talk trash about Toshi. That tells you the extent of just how relevant and powerful and successful it is. So yeah, it's like I just see through all bullshit, to be honest. And that's what I spend my time doing, trying to focus on, okay, what are the higher ups doing and how can I benefit from what they're doing? And yeah, so that's pretty much my mindset, what I have going on. Hopefully this video helped you all. This is one of the longest videos I've made, but I really wanted to explain who I am, explain my convictions, and basically introduce you all to who it is who makes the Toshi videos, because I don't talk about myself a lot, like, not like that. It's like, I don't really see a need, but maybe there's something in my story that can resonate and help someone else along figuring out your story, figuring out your journey. People are going to be judgmental. People are going to have their opinions and their thoughts anyway. I don't give a shit. What I do has always worked for me, and I'll continue to look out for myself, my family, and how to improve and how to be better. That's just what I'm going to keep doing. So yeah, let me know what you all think. As always, drop that thumbs up, subscribe, share, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, fam.